And we're live now on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Hope everyone's having a great day so far. It's usually on Wednesday we go live. We're going live on Thursday today. So guys, like and share this feed. Natalie's coming live on Instagram with me right now. There you go. Hi, what up, fam, guys? Like and share this feed. Today is B.O.S.S.Up Talk Thursday. Switched it up a little bit on y'all. Got a few things that we had to do for yesterday, so we're just switching it up. So we hope everybody is tuning in. Guys, like and share this feed. We are going live. Natalie, can you hear me on Instagram?
Yep, I got you. Can you hear me over here on YouTube?
Huh? Let me fix my Bluetooth actually. That's you and me.
I don't know.
All right, what up, fam, guys? We're live on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube.
Hey.
What up? What up?
We a day late, but we got $1 short.
Okay, there you go. I hear you now. There you go.
Can you hear me? You can hear me? I said we're a day late, but not $1 short.
That part. It's like staticky. Do you hear the staticky? Listen, kid, Nicholas, I'm off of work. Don't hit me about work stuff. That's your business about your pants not being dry. I got students hit me up on Facebook, Instagram. That's not my problem. Your pants not dry. Anyway,
that's hilarious.
What's going on, fam, guys? We're live on Boss Talk Wednesday for today. And today we are, it's kind of like a two-topic kind of vibe. Our first topic is how to stand out in your field. And it did sound like, so do you still hear that, Cassandra? It sounds like a frying pan, like somebody popping bacon.
I don't hear anything.
Is that me or is it Natalie? Oh, you just hungry. All right, guys. So the first topic is we're communicating all different pages on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. First topic is definitely how to stand out in your field. Second subtopic is from a quote that Neo uses a lot is how you do anything is how you do everything. I've been saying that all week to my students. And it's the end of the school year. So, kids get the itis of the senior itis. They're ready to be out of school. I'm ready to be out of school too, not just them. So we were talking about how you do anything is how you do everything. And that is so important when it comes to standing out in your brand. Natalie and I talk about clarity and purpose a lot. And a lot of that has to do with how you enter the marketplace. How you enter the marketplace is so important. And it's so many ways you can stand out with your brand, but it really takes you getting clarity and understanding your purpose. When you understand your purpose, you have clarity of your vision, it's so much easier to stand out in the marketplace. What I've been working on last night, I said, okay, Jay, you got to create better marketing. So your marketing is okay. Your reels are good. But you need to go back to being really intentional about how you post and how you advertise. Now, it got to be your speakers. It got to be your headset.
It's my speakers?
You don't hear that?
Well, let me take it out and see if that. I don't hear anything.
Okay, we don't hear anything no more either. Okay, so something I've been working on like the past 24 hours is how I do my advertising. I said, Jay, you got to be more strategic about how you advertise and market and take it up to the next level because I want to stand out more in my market. So what I did was I have all of these photos in my phone that I do not use. I just use a lot of videos now because videos are what's popular now. But I said there's something about also pictures. Don't ever diminish the value of pictures with promoting. So I went on one of the apps that I use to do some editing, which is Creative Cloud, which is by Adobe. And I started to put my pictures and advertise 4 key things I'm going to be working on now. So I'm going to be only advertising the private dining experience, the brunch, the cooking classes, and my seasonings. Those are the 4 things I'm only advertising on the Chef J experience page. And then the Chef J B.O.S.S.Up Bootcamp. And my other page is going to focus on coaching because I want to make sure that I stand out more by being clear through my social media page. So that's what I'm working on. But there's something about really being strategic because once you're strategic after you have clarity and know your purpose, it becomes much smoother for you to enter different spaces and to stand out in your market.
Oh, that's so good. So it's so many different things like popping through my head. That is so good. I love the fact that you're narrowing down your focus on your social media accounts, because when I coach my clients, I tell them to start with one, focus on one, and the overflow will come. So, because a lot of times we want to do a whole lot of different things or focus on a whole lot of different things. And I tell them, especially with social media, I'm not the social media expert. I have a social media coach, Star Shamar Cox, a content coach. But I know that, just starting with one thing, or for each platform, I make sure I let them know that focus on one thing on that particular platform, and then the overflow will come. You want to be recognized for one thing. So for me, it was like really honing in on clarity, just getting clarity, and then even niching down a little bit more to like having a clear message so that you can attract your ideal clients. So that is my focus on Instagram. It's just really helping people get clarity in their messaging. What it sounds like to be clear, what it looks like, having clarity in your brand. And that's what I'm focusing on. Now I do a whole lot of other stuff, but that's all I'm going to be advertising on the social media platform. And then when I show up in Clubhouse, there's a different focus. When I show up on Facebook, I'm all like, it's just the one line for me. I'm really just doing those one-liners and focusing on one thing, so I'm not like pulled in so many different directions. So I feel like when you focus on one thing, or when you start with one thing, you have the ability to master that thing, and then the overflow comes. It's like Tabitha, what she was known for in the beginning was, cooking and everything. But now she has been able to extend her field to go, clothing brand, hair products, just a whole lot of different things, speaking engagements, because she started with one thing. She focused on that one thing. And when she blew up, it's like, okay, whatever she puts in the market, they're going to eat up, because it has credibility in a particular area. So I love that you said that. And then you said, how you start. Is it how you start, or how you show
it's
up?
how you do anything is how you do everything.
That part right there. How you do anything is how you do everything. So today I was just talking to Josh previously before we got on this live that I was struggling with opening up this app on my computer. And I know it's my computer's fault, but I am not really a computer whiz. So I have to like try to take the time to figure it out. And a couple of years ago, I was in the same situation. And a couple of years ago, it took me about 4 days to figure out this computer situation with PayPal and connecting and all this other website stuff. And it took me 4 days. And every time I wanted to quit, I would cry, shake it off, and go back in there. And as I came to this right now, I'm like, no, Natalie, you've been here before. You've been through a situation where you had to fight through your computer, fight through these apps to get to the end. And I said, oh, I'm going to win today. Like, I'm going to figure this thing out today. And it only took about an hour and a half. For some people, that's long. But for me, going from 4 days in 2019 to now, it only took me an hour and a half to figure this thing out. Your girl is winning. You hear me? So how I did that one thing, and there were things in between. Like when I get frustrated or when I get upset, I don't just quit. I shake it off. I'll cry if I have to, but I'm getting right back in there because I'm going to figure this thing out. How you do that one thing is how you do everything.
That's good. Now, I love that. It's funny today that so I know how to make pizza dough, but I've really been trying to perfect the size and the crust. I've been working this like the whole school year, trying different recipes because in the kitchen I'm always doing stuff with my students, so we're always doing trial and error. And a lot of times too is, that's just really the majority of what we do is trial and error, And I've been using this one recipe, like Bobby flavor recipe, for a long time. But I'm like, let me try to do some other stuff. Let me try to do the New York style pizza crust. So let me try that. And today I was watching videos all week. No, the last 2 weeks about the proper technique. And I'm watching different videos. I'm like, hey, you know what? I want to be able to have that. How to be in a pizzeria, right? So we've been practicing, and remember how you do things and how you do everything. And for me, is that sometimes we just get so complacent with it just being okay. And I think the reality is when you're an entrepreneur, the goal has to be, how do you take something that you're good at and make it something that you're great at? How do you take something that you're great at and make it something that you're excellent about? Because what happens is when you go to the next level, you want to start being the expert. But so oftentimes we're not the expert of our area because we're not taking the steps to be an expert. We're okay with mediocre. And what I realized, the reason why I'm able to command what I command at a job when it comes to education is because I paid my dues, but I'm always evolving. The things I did last school year is not the same thing I do this school year. Before that, so I'm always learning how to evolve in my industry, because if you never take time to evolve and to practice at being better, you're going to stay complacent. You're going to have the same opportunities. And there's been certain experiences where I realized that when it was time for me to go to the next level, because I stayed mediocre, I was in shambles when I got to that next level, because the opportunity was there, but I didn't really build myself up in the times of me being undiscovered, right? So when you're in your phase right now where you may not have a lot of clients, you may not have a lot of sales, but you're really learning and developing in what you're growing, that's the time to really work on yourself, hone your skills, because when the time arrives for that client you've been waiting to expect, because me and Natalie talk about that, $1 million status is what we believe in. But if we never do stuff that millionaires do, how do we expect to get there? Because when the time is right, and that one client that may take you to the next level, or they may have another 20 clients they want to introduce you to, but they may have such a negative experience with you, they'll never promote you to the next level. So when it comes to really analyzing the daily practice that you're doing, are you doing enough to really be excellent? And it's not saying be perfect, but when you start to really make up in your mind and be strategic about, hey, these are my goals in business, now it's time to say, okay, what do I need to do to get there? Because you'll never get there doing the same thing. And it's not saying that, okay, I tried it one time, it didn't work out. Not that kind of same thing. But there are certain principles that you have to apply when it comes to really being the best at what you do. When I know Natalie talks about clarity, I know Natalie has perfected that, because not only because she is just saying it, because I know Natalie on a personal level. So I know for a fact that she's not stunting at the stuff that she's saying. She actually takes practice to do this up in her own personal life. So when you're really trying to pivot and go to the next level, you're not going to do it by always giving up. You're not going to do it by being mediocre. You're not going to do it by saying, well, I guess it's going to just be like this today. No, like, take time to say, hey, how I do anything is how I do everything. If you slack off in the areas that need improvement, you're going to slack off when it comes to being a millionaire. That's why even too, like, when it comes to like tithing, if God can't trust you with the dollar, how he gonna give you the $10 and $1 million? So it's like, it's really about being a good steward over your giftings. We all have gifts, and if you don't take time to be a good steward over that and practice and hone it, it's going to be a place when it's time for the test to come and you're ill prepared, because you have not taken time to go from mediocre, better, great, best, excellent. And that's what we really have to do if we want to stand out in our industry.
That is so good. I absolutely love that. I absolutely love it. And I love how you talk about taking that time to go through your own process of getting better. And that's something that I teach my clients as well. Like, if you have a framework, as sometimes they don't, but sometimes they do, or we will establish one, a blueprint, a process, or a method that they have. And my thing is, the first thing you need to do is go through your process yourself. I know a lot of the times they're creating their framework or their process through the things that they've gone through. But after that process is established, I encourage each and every one of them to go back through the process themselves, so that they can get the confidence that they need to know that this thing actually works. A lot of times they're putting it together, and people, not my clients, because I serve the best people in the world, but there are people that are like, I'm not getting anybody to buy it. I had somebody come into a session with me and say, well, nobody's buying my thing. I just need you to tell me what to do so that they can buy it. I said, have you gone through the process? Do you know that it actually works? Or did you just put some pieces of some stuff together that somebody else told you? This coach over here said that person down there said that, and then you put something together looking like a Frankenstein, and then you're trying to sell it to somebody else. And of course, they're not buying it because they can see Frankenstein coming a whole mile away. Have you gone through the process? Have you fine-tuned it? Have you tweaked it? Has it evolved? Has it become better? And her answer was no. So I said, baby, you got to go back and you got to go through that yourself. But as you are waiting in your waiting season, you're waiting for the client Sometimes I tell them, you know what? Go ahead and give that away to somebody for free. Before I ever sold a clarity session, you know what I did? I went into the marketplace, Clubhouse, and I listened. I was like, if anybody says they don't have clarity, I'm gonna hop on them. And there were quite a few people who I knew who were just kept saying those words over and over. And I DM'd them. I said, hey, I got this new thing that I'm offering, a new offer. I'm not going to charge you anything for it. I just need your testimonial. After I take you through the process, if this has been helpful for you, I need you to shoot a video testimonial for me. And that's how I got my first 4 testimonials. The month of January of last year, I gave away all of them for free.
That's good.
But I was careful because I know some people don't value time. Some people value money over time. So if they don't pay with coins, they're not going to do the work. But these people I knew were valuing their time enough because they're not just saying, hey, oh, Natalie's going to spend 1 hour. They knew, they were like, I have to spend 1 hour with Natalie to dig in deep. Some people think that they're wasting our time, but no, you're wasting your time, boo-boo, when you get into those free webinars or get into those free sessions or get into those free things and you're not actually implementing the techniques that the people are giving you for free. You just wasted your time, and time is something that you cannot get back. Time is so much more valuable. So I would rather pay money to get my time back, or if I can do it myself in an hour and a half, I'll do it.
That's so good. Me and Natalie spoke about this 2 days ago. Somebody reached out to me, and it was no malintent. We were just having a conversation, and this person said, "Oh, Chef, the streets are talking about you." I'm like, "What you mean?" She said, "They said you expensive." So here's the thing about that conversation. I said, well, I'm sorry that I can't help the fact that my taste buds are in the mouths of millionaires. So what that means is this. When you become dope at what you do and people start to notice who you are and they see what you do and you are excellent at what you do, your price can become your price. But here's the thing, right? You have to also make sure your product is dope enough to charge what you're charging. I've made sure that I cultivated an experience, because remember, how you do anything is how you do everything. So when it comes to my event, an event that I'm hosting, somebody's coming for dinner, I make sure I cultivate an experience from when I first talk to them, how I contact them, how I speak to them, how I create the image in their mind before they even come to the event. So for me, I really am a vibe curator. So when it comes to me charging what I charge, I know that people are coming because of the value that they've seen or the value that they heard about. So when you know you provide value and you stand out already in the market, you then become aware that you're not for everybody. What I've learned is when I determine my value and know that I was different from other people when it came to my business, and we all are gifted. I know a lot of amazing chefs, but I know I'm different because of what I provide. And because of that, I know that I bring a certain level of energy to the table, right? So with just thinking about that, when I come to the marketplace with what I have to offer, I know I have taken my time to cultivate an experience. I know I've taken time to really, really cultivate what I do to be the best at what I do. So when it comes to you analyzing your fees and what you charge, you now have become worth the value that you put out. And there's so often times that we're not really aware of our value, that when it comes to like really us really being excellent about what we do, we allow anything to happen. We are easily distracted, right? So like for me, I know I oftentimes have to reassess my value, because sometimes you find yourself hopping in situations that just hopping in stuff that's just like, not what you should be doing, or you're hopping in things that seem good. Because when you become the best at what you do, you become confident in what you're doing. And I know for a fact that I'm meant to do what I'm doing when I'm doing it, because I've taken time to assess my value. So now when I come to the marketplace, I know I'm showing up with the best product, and I'm going to give people the best experience because I know for a fact I've taken time to cultivate being the best at what I do. When you are not really sure about what you provide to the market, it's very easy for you to jump in every direction. Because like I have, for example, I have new clients that I talk to, and they're like, oh, I should do this. The next time I talk to them, I think I should do this. Then I talk to them again, I should do this. And it's really because they haven't really found where their value is by really analyzing their gifts. When you really take time to tap into your purpose and your gifting, and once you know that's your gift, okay, let me work on that gift it's like a singer. A lot of singers are gifted, but you still have to practice your craft. Whitney Houston was a gifted singer, but she also practiced her craft. She also made sure that her delivery was appropriate for whatever she was doing, because she didn't just rely on her gifting. She also relied on the fact that she needed practice to do that part. And there's so often times when we come into the marketplace, we're not really taking time to practice being excellent, right? When you take time to practice being excellent, you're able to charge what you charge. You're able to have a confidence about you that's worthy of people supporting your business, because you've taken time to be excellent. And so oftentimes, going back to the saying, how you do anything is how you do everything. What are the areas of your life that you are slacking on that's affecting your business and your brand? And if you really take a deep dive at the inventory of that and say, hey, you know what? I noticed that this area is lacking in my business. And because how I do anything is how I do everything, I want to show up excellent in this area, because I know if I show up excellent in this area, I'll start to see results in my business. The areas that you're not getting results in is the areas that you really need to start taking time to take inventory about practice at being excellent in those areas. So take a real inventory of what's not going right in your business, or even stuff that's okay that could be better. It's not always a bad thing, but take inventory, because when you want to realize that, I know, for example, I want to be a millionaire. But there are certain things that millionaires do that I don't do on a regular. Like my mentor, she just texted me and she just said something to me that really kind of like, that's why I kind of got flustered with my words. And we're talking about something, but it's just that because I show up excellent, you know, people are naturally drawn to me. And the fact that she just spoke this word that I need to hear is just like, okay, Jay, what do you need to do to work on those areas that are not excellent so you can show up and you can actually not only say you're an expert, you can really have the proof of it as well too, by taking inventory of what works over you or what works for you.
Yeah, baby. Ooh, I'm sorry. I'm trying to write down as much as I can as you're talking. Oh my gosh. So let's go back to the value part, because I think a lot of people mistake who they are worth as a human being with their value. You are priceless as a human being. People can't pay you to be you. They can't pay you enough. Like Christ died, it was his whole life that he set in place for us. So you have to know, if I charge even 200 million, whatever, $billion, it still is not enough for all of who I am, period. Now that you know that, when you offer something, when you put out your products or your services, you have to think about the value of the product or the services. And the value is not necessarily the price. The value is what people perceive as worth it, or perceive as worth or importance. Just like, you know, a Coach bag is valued differently than a Birkin, because of the perception of a Birkin. And I don't know if I said that right. And a Coach. And also of the materials that's being used, and then the perception of the materials that go into it. It's valued different. People look at it different. People perceive it different. How they show it in the marketplace is totally different. You're not going to see a Birkin side by side with the Coach. You're not going to see that. They just two different lanes. So now you understand how it is just with purses and bags. The same thing with people. Two different lanes. You got to think about what lane you want to be in. And it's okay to be a coach. Ain't nothing wrong with being a coach. All that means is, I'm talking about a Coach bag. All that means is you're going to have to sell more Coach bags in order to equal the amount of Birkins that you want to sell if you want to go in that area. So if you have a higher price, you're going to sell less and it's going to be valued more. The quality has to be different as opposed to a Coach, or as opposed to, you know, a 9 West bag. Totally different places. You're not going to see a Birkin in Marshalls. You might see 1 or 2 Coaches, but you're definitely not seeing a Birkin and Marshalls, and you're definitely going to see a whole lot of 9 West and Marshalls. So now you understand the perception that you have, the value that you have. So when you are putting your products and your services together, think about that. What am I offering? What value, what perception are the people going to have? And then you're going to price. Now, the one thing I want to say is when you are pricing, you want to make sure the value of your offer always exceeds your price. So the price might be $2,000, but the value, the perception is, wow, this is $10,000 worth of information. They want to be able to say, I've given less than what I've received. That's how your name is going to be spread far and wide. If you showing up and it's a free thing, you want to make them feel like they paid for it. Man, this was so rich and so good. I paid for this. And it's not because you're adding. People mistakenly say, I'm going to add 50 different things. I'm going to have the workbook. I'm just talking about coaches. The workbook. I'm going to have a free dinner pass. I'm going to add. They're going to have to write down all of this stuff. And people don't care. They want to know, when I leave here, what transformation am I going to have? What changes can I immediately implement in my life that's going to make me feel like, wow, I paid a lot for this, or I really didn't pay a lot for this. I want more. So when you're thinking about that, when you're putting your prices, and I tell my clients all the time, sometimes you might have to start low because you need to see what the perception of the people are, because in their mind, they want to pay what they think is worth it. And then as you start increasing in your knowledge and the information, and as Coach, I was going to say Coach Chef J, I'll say it all. Coach Chef J said, you want to get excellence. You want to refine it. You want to be able to know more, because the more that you know, and Cass and I had this conversation yesterday, the more that you can tell them to do, like you'll be fine-tuned and tell the people, you can do this, just do these 3 things, and they'll be able to get transformation because you have done your research, you have studied your craft. So you know exactly, the shortest route to get from A to B. That's what it is. People want transformation quickly. And when you do your research, it may take you a long time to find out what's the shortest route. But once you do that and you get that information and you're able to relay that information to people, the shortest route to get from A to B, they will pay the most money. Like I just said, it took me an hour and a half to figure that out. But if I knew someone who could figure that out in 5 minutes, I would pay them a certain amount of money to do what I did in an hour and a half in 5 minutes. That's what people are thinking. How can I shorten the transformation time between where I am and where I need to be? That's what value does. Value shortens the time. And when the time is shortened, when the experience is phenomenal, they're willing to pay more and more and more money. You can raise your prices every year if you want to. I see people do it all the time. And what they do is they eliminate those people that really are not their clientele, to be honest. And they focus in on the people who are ready to do the work. Because one thing I know about people with money, when they come in with thousands and thousands of dollars, you don't have to coerce them to do anything. You don't have to convince them that this is the right thing for them to do. You don't have to manipulate them into taking a course of action. They said, I paid my money, so I'm here to do the work because I want the transformation in the shortest amount of time possible. I gave you $10,000. Now, how do we get from A to B? And how quickly do I need to do this? And then lastly, you said, make a habit and take inventory of your business. As a solopreneur, you are the business. So you have to take inventory of yourself. How long does it take me to push out a product? How long does it take me to create the website? How long does it take me to give information or relay the information, learn the information and relay the information to somebody else with excellence? How long does it take me to do those things? And take inventory of yourself. And if you are not getting better, if you are not sharpening the saw, pay somebody else to do it, because you are wasting your time and wasting money that you could potentially be doing what you are great at, doing something that you ain't that good at. So take inventory of you as a solopreneur so that you can get better in your business. And if you know you ain't that good, hire somebody else to do the work.
That part, because some people be out here raggedy, and it's just like, yo, if you will actually work on your budget of paying somebody to do something, you'll realize that you have more time to do other stuff, because now whatever the area you're lacking in is going to be produced better. So now you can produce better results in your finances. Um, how you do anything is how you do everything. Is really about having a powerhouse mindset. If your attitude about a product or service you're delivering is good enough, or no one's going to notice my mistake anyway, is going to signal other people that they really don't respect your work. And that mindset, you don't want to send that to clients or partners, or peers, or colleagues. Like for me, lesson plans has never been my strong point as an educator. Let's get that out the way. I've never liked doing lesson plans, but I realized that when my first vice principal, who was my teacher in high school, she said, Josh, lesson plans are like scripting a scene. You don't always go through it, but it's about creating the quality content that you notice is an experience. So for me, I realized as a teacher, I don't want to show up to my students with, oh, it's whatever. No, I want to show up that I show up giving them a world-class experience about what I provide. Even too, for example, is just like if I'm thinking about just some goals. When I do things, it's like let's say if I'm sending an email, right? And then I just rushed out to send it out, but I never checked the typos. When you do it right the first time, you don't have to do it again. And I think so oftentimes especially when it comes to my mentees, I'm like, if you do it right the first time, you don't have to do it again, because you're going to hear my mouth about it. So when it comes to your business, do things right the first time. And I know sometimes we get caught out being perfect, that we don't put anything out, but you really want to take time to really think about what you're putting out. Okay, I know for a fact that if I put a flyer out for an event, right, I'll send it to 4 different people. Say, hey, can you check this? Because I want to make sure my spelling is correct. I want to make sure this is correct. Because how you do everything is how you do anything is how you do everything. And when it comes to really growing as an entrepreneur, I want to make sure that I'm taking inventory of the little things, the things that seem like it's not important, things that seem like nobody's going to pay attention to, because I want to show up excellent to the workforce. I want to make sure that I provide top-notch service from the beginning to the end. When you really start to think about your craft and your gift, right? When you first appreciate it, I'm going to show up differently, just because I show up with actual intention. I want to be I'm sorry. You hear me now? I want to make sure when I show up to the market, I'm so particular about how I do things. For me, it's just that no, I'm not going to just do this because it's easier. What is the right way? Is it easy? Does it mean that if easy means not quality, I'm not going to do easy. I'm going to take my time to do it the right way, because I want to be mindful that people have taken time to work hard for their money. And the fact that you're thinking about using me for a gig, when I already know our prices, some people got to work a few hours, some people got to work a few weeks to pay for something that I'm providing. So I want to make sure that you get it right. It's a saying that says measure twice, cut once, because you want to make sure you're providing the right service and the quality, where you don't have some things that we do is because we don't do it right the first time. It's like the IKEA stuff. When you get to IKEA, they give you the direction and you start mixing it together. Then you see 5 screws left out. Wait, hold on. I think I'm missing something, because I didn't just take time, just take a minute to just read. At least take a minute just to glance over to see, hey, I know I need this. I know I need that. Okay, cool. Let me get started. When you start taking time to do that, like a good example is today, my students made brownies for a sale we're having tomorrow. And I told them this. I said, hey, you got to melt the butter first with a pot of water at the bottom and put the bowl at the top of the chocolate. But before you do the chocolate, melt the butter first on the stove. 2 groups made brownies. They both taste totally different with the same recipe. And I'm like, hey, first, and they both didn't pay attention, because one melted the butter in the stove, but what happened is all the butter didn't melt, so it's butter lumps all throughout the brownies. The other group, they didn't pay attention with how I said to put it on the sheet pan, so now Their brownies are long and flat versus thick to represent the value of what we're charging. So when it comes to stuff like that, it's like, hey guys, even if you have a question, it's okay to ask, because you want to make sure when you're putting out a product or a service, it sounds excellent. Like, let's say if Natalie is talking about a package she's trying to provide, we may talk about it. So when her friends are, hey, what do you think of this package? Because it's just good to run it past somebody else, because you want to make sure that you're giving the best service and the best products to people, that they know that, yo, this product is dope. This guy has given me the best product. And you want to be so mindful of that. So how you do anything is how you do everything. Don't just rush to get stuff done. I want to be excellent, because I want to, when it comes to legacy, how do you want people to remember you by? You know, when you look at how, when Hershey created Hershey created his company. No, Heinz created his company. The first one he created failed. So when he came back to the market the second time, he made sure it was perfect, because he wanted to bring his ketchup to the everywhere in the area. So now when it took to making his product, he made it perfect. So that now Heinz is the top number one ketchup in the world, because he made sure he took time to do it right. What are things that you're not doing right? And it's not even like it's hard to do it right. You just not taking time to like even check over your work. What are the areas you got to take inventory over to make sure that you're really editing yourself? Because once you edit yourself before you go to the market, 9 times out of 10, you're going to develop a better produced product.
I definitely agree with you on that one. Like, take your time. Don't rush. A lot of times, and it's a balance, to be honest with you, because you will have some people that will take forever and never put out anything. They got 6 different videos sitting in their thing, and they're like, oh, but I'm waiting because I need to make sure it's edited all the way right, and they don't put it out. And then you have those people that just put out everything, like, I ain't even check over it, like so many different typos and speaking off topic, and it's just too much. And so you have to have that balance between when it's time to move and when it's time to go back and revise and revisit it. And knowing that balance, knowing who you are, knowing if you are a perfectionist that don't like to move, or knowing that, you like to rush ahead because you just don't want to sit with this too long. Know that that's where it goes back to you saying, make it a habit of taking inventory of your business. And as a solopreneur, as the CEO, you're the business. So you really have to understand how you are, how you operate. And then as you're moving, say, okay, what would I normally do? Am I a person that rushes? Maybe I need to go back and look over this, edit this, send it to somebody. And even that, you need to have, this is also why the second thing is important, is having community, like Chef J said. When you have a community, and you need to really know who's in your community. Sometimes you'll have people in your community that are just yes men, that everything you say, they love it. And those people aren't helpful. I know it's helpful for your self-esteem, but it's not helpful when you're trying to produce quality products and services. You need somebody that's going to be non-biased and tell you the real deal, not that, oh my God, you're so wonderful and everything is good about you, because everything is not good about you. Everything is not going to be good, especially the first time around. You need somebody to help you edit that. So make sure you have the right people around you in your community. Make sure you have people who are really invested, who understand the land of, or the layout, especially when it comes to business, that understands business, that understands marketing, that understands certain different aspects of entrepreneurship, that they're able to give you really good advice and critique. They're not just saying things because, oh, they saw something or whatever. And lastly, I want you to think about tweaking along the way. As you revise and you edit and you put out, always look for ways to tweak. I saw an article today, or a reel today, by Glow. I forgot her last name, but she's really well known on Instagram. She's a coach, and she was talking about the evolution of these social media platforms like Instagram. That Instagram's logo looks not completely, but it looks really different from what it does today. Yeah. So, and they were like, they tweaked along the way and they made changes along the way. And they, you know, they said things like, we're not going to do any posts anymore. It's just going to be video, or it's just going to be reels. And then they recanted. They went back and forth. So big companies are doing these things. They're making tweaks along the way. They're looking at the, you know, the landscape, the people. They're really trying to meet the needs of the people. And sometimes the needs of the people are going to shift based on the generation that comes in and out. And so you have to understand that this entrepreneurship is fluid. The marketplace is fluid. Unlike my sexuality, the marketplace is very fluid. It will change and shift based on the time and the dates and the generation and what people like and don't like. And we have to be able to navigate through that shift. We can't be so rigid to say, this is how it is, this is what it's been, this is what's going to be like, and not move with that fluidity. Now, there are principles in play that will always be the same. Marketing is a principle. You got to market your business or else nobody going to know who you are. That's one of those foundational things of business. Having a business foundation, understanding why, the purpose of your business. That's foundational. That's never going to change. But how you show up might change. What you're going to present might change. The products may change. The service may change over time, depending on the needs of your people. Your prices should definitely change over time. Listen, inflation all the time. Heinz ketchup, as Chef J was talking about, it don't cost the same like it used to 20 years ago. It's totally different now. The price is the price. And they don't talk about how they probably going to increase the price next year. They ain't worried about none of that stuff. So understand those are the things that may change in the marketplace, and be open to inventory, to do inventory on yourself. Be open to create more value as you move off, and just be more open as you move through the marketplace.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, let's make that a daily transition, you know, about okay, take a daily reflect, you know, like even at nighttime, hey, this what went well, this what could have been better, and then this is what I want to work on tomorrow. And then maybe in the morning time, okay, let me take an inventory of my list. Let me see what can I do better today. You know, and it's not about saying being perfect, but you want to just make sure you show up to where you're the best at what you do, you know. And I think it comes to a point where you have to be just so gun-ho about, no, I am going to make it. I'm going to make it. I'm going to be better at what I do. I'm going to be I'm just going to just really do a better job at just really just being better. You know, there's so often times in life where we just don't take time to self-reflect because we become complacent at the situation that we're in. You know, it's just like, for example, there's the man who was blind at the pool. He was so comfortable begging because that was his condition that he was used to, that he stayed there. And so when the man of God came to him, he said, do you want to be made whole? Like, for real, for real. And that's what happens, that a lot of times God will send people into our life to say, are you ready to be made whole? Are you ready to break out of the shell that's really bothering you? Are you ready to break out of that sickness? Are you ready to break out being broke? Are you ready to break out of this poverty? Because what happened is, just because we're used to that condition doesn't mean that that's of God. When you become used to your condition and you never take time to really change that condition, you're almost like putting a limitation on the growth that you could have. And once you stop putting a limitation on the growth you can have, you know, this is one guy, we did a network marketing together, and he didn't want to sign up for the company because he said, oh, I don't want them to mess up my disability check. For the longest, this guy would not sign up. So now he signed up. Now this guy went to making, I think he makes about like $50K a month. But what if he stayed there in that limitation? I don't want nobody to mess up my food stamp. I don't want nobody to make up my disability. I don't want nobody to mess up my Section 8. And there's nothing wrong with if you're in that situation, but it's just like, is that a forever situation for you? Like, do you want to grow and pivot? Because if you really gonna do business, like real business, and you're not trying to scam out here, you're going to have to realize that your tax bracket is going to change, where when your tax bracket changes, you do different things that people in the tax bracket do. So it's like, let's go from scamming ourselves out of a better life, and let's really take the necessary steps to say, hey, this is my day to be better. This is my day to experience wealth. This is my day to experience genuine care, genuine love, whatever you want to experience in your life. Take time to really see what you have to do to get there. Your portion is not sickness. Your portion is not lack. Your portion is not you can't afford enough money to pay your bills. And we've all been there. Like sometimes I'm there every now and then. It happens. Like maybe like yesterday, I'm like, oh man, I gotta pay this bill. Let me figure out how to work this out. But I just know I have a certain level of that. Okay, Jay, you trust in your business that God has given you, trust in the gift, work the gift. Your gift will make room for you to pay your bills. Your gift will make room for you to elevate your clients. Your gift will make room for you to take that course to be better. So whatever you're looking to grow and pivot in, just know that it's available for you, but you have to take the time to take the inventory of your life and say, hey, this will not be my final story. This will not be, I know I'm here right now, but this will not be where I land because I'm still soaring in the air and I'm going to land where I'm in perfect health. I'm in peace, and I live the life that I desire with God's exceedingly abundantly above I can ask for everything. So, you got anything else to add, Natalie? All right, so so fam, the two topics that we worked on today, guys, was um being standing out in your field as well as how you do anything is how you do everything. Take inventory of your life. Be okay with not being right about everything. Be okay with you not being perfect, but be okay with you striving to be better. Be okay with you desiring more. Be okay with you declaring what God has for you is for you. And just have a wonderful week on purpose. It's a brand new month. It's a brand new day. What are you going to do differently these next 30 days? That's good. We're at the half part of the year. What are you going to do in the next 30 days going to shape the next 6 months of your life? And that's it. So, guys, if you're looking for coaching, contact Natalie, contact me, and have a super dope week on purpose. Know that you are more than a conqueror. You're more than able. Closed mouths don't get fed. If you need help, ask for help. And what you ask for is what you will receive. And that's it. We out. All right. Have a good week on purpose, guys.